My name is Allison Park. I am 36 years old, and I have been a nurse for 14 years. I work in the pediatric ward at County General Hospital. I spend my days taking care of sick children. I hold their hands when they are scared. I explain procedures in ways they can understand. I advocate for them when their parents cannot. I protect them. That is my job. That is what I am supposed to do. I wish I had protected my own daughter better. I have one daughter. Her name is Mia, and she is 12 years old. She has dark hair that she wears in a braid, serious eyes that miss nothing, and a smile that takes effort. She is careful, thoughtful. The kind of kid who apologizes when she takes up space, who asks permission before she does anything, who worries about being a burden. She learned all of that early. She learned it from watching me try to be enough for everyone. I got pregnant with Mia when I was 24. Her father was someone I had been dating for 6 months. When I told him I was pregnant, he said he was not ready to be a father. He said he needed time to think. I never heard from him again. He blocked my number. He moved across the country. He disappeared. My parents were disappointed. Not surprised, just disappointed. My mother said, "Well, I guess you will have to figure it out." My father said, "Actions have consequences." But they also said I could move back in with them temporarily. Just until I got on my feet. I moved back into my childhood bedroom. I was pregnant, working full-time, trying to finish my nursing degree. My parents helped sometimes. They babysat occasionally. They bought diapers when I ran out of money. But they always reminded me that they were helping. That I owed them. That I should be grateful. So I was grateful. For 12 years, I was grateful. When Mia was a baby, I paid my parents $300 a month for rent. When she was 3, I paid for their new water heater. $2,000. When she was 5, I paid off my father's credit card debt. $6,000. When she was 7, I paid for my mother's dental implants. $9,000. When she was 9, I paid for their roof to be replaced. $14,000. And when Mia was 10, I saved their house. My parents had taken out a home equity loan. Then another one. Then a third. They had used the money for vacations, renovations, things they wanted but did not need. Then the payments became too much. They could not keep up. The bank was going to foreclose. They were going to lose everything. They came to me crying. They said they did not know what to do. They said they needed help. My father said, "You are the only one who can save us." I looked at my bank account. I had been saving. 4 years. For a down payment on a house. For Mia's future. For emergencies. I had $41,000 saved. I gave them $38,000. I paid off their debts. I caught up their mortgage payments. I saved their house. I kept a roof over their heads. They thanked me. They said they would pay me back. They said it was just a loan. They said they would never forget what I did for them. They never paid me back. Not $1. And 2 years later, they forgot anyway. For the past 2 years, Mia and I have been living in a small apartment. 2 bedrooms. $1,500 a month. It is fine. It is clean. It is ours. But it is small. And I work long shifts. 12-hour days. Sometimes 14. Sometimes 16 when they are short-staffed. I needed help with Mia. I needed someone to pick her up from school on days when I worked late. Someone to give her dinner. Someone to make sure she did her homework. Someone I could trust. So I asked my parents. They agreed. They said of course they would help. They said they loved spending time with Mia. They said it was no problem. For a while, it was fine. They picked her up 2 or 3 days a week. They fed her. They dropped her back off at our apartment by 8. It worked. But over time, I started noticing things. Mia would come home quiet. Withdrawn. I would ask her about her day and she would say it was fine. I would ask what she did at Grandma and Grandpa's house and she would shrug. I would ask if everything was okay and she would nod. But I could tell something was wrong. One night, about 6 months ago, I pressed her. "Mia, did something happen at Grandma's house?" She looked at me. Those serious eyes. "No. Are you sure?" She hesitated. Then she said, Grandma said I am spoiled.
What?
She said I do not appreciate what I have. She said I do not know how good my life is. She said I should be more grateful.
Why did she say that?
I do not know. I was just sitting on the couch reading. She came in and started talking about how kids today do not understand hard work. How they get everything handed to them. How they do not know what struggle is. Then she looked at me and said I was spoiled. I felt anger rising in my chest.
You are not spoiled.
I know.
But she thinks I am.
Did Grandpa say anything? He agreed with her. He said I have it too easy. He said when he was my age, he had to work. He said I do not know what real life is like. I wanted to call my parents right then. I wanted to tell them they had no right to say those things to my daughter. But I also needed their help. I needed them to keep picking her up from school. I needed them to keep watching her. So I said nothing. I just told Mia that she was not spoiled, that she worked hard, that she was a good kid. But the comments kept coming. 2 months ago, Mia came home and said my mother had told her she should volunteer at a soup kitchen. That she should see how other people live. That she should learn to be grateful for what she has. 1 month ago, my father told Mia that she was too soft. That she needed to toughen up. That real life was going to hit her hard and she was not ready for it. 3 weeks ago, my mother said Mia did not understand the value of money. That she did not appreciate how much things cost. That she needed a reality check. Every time Mia told me about these comments, I felt my stomach twist. But I also felt trapped. I was working 60-hour weeks. I was barely keeping up with bills. I needed my parents' help. So I kept quiet. I kept sending Mia to their house. I kept hoping they would stop. Then came my birthday. Yesterday was October 14th. My 36th birthday. I had to work. Double shift. 16 hours. 7 in the morning to 11 at night. Pediatric ward. We were understaffed. 3 nurses called in sick. I could not say no. I asked my parents if they could watch Mia for the day. They said yes. They said of course. They said they would pick her up from school and keep her until I got off work. They said they might even take her out for a nice dinner to celebrate my birthday. I said thank you. I told Mia to behave. I told her to text me if she needed anything. Then I went to work. I did not check my phone for hours. Pediatric ward was chaos. A baby with RSV. A 7-year-old with a broken arm. A teenager with appendicitis. A 10-year-old with pneumonia. I was running from room to room. I did not have time to breathe. At 6:30, I finally took a break. I went to the staff room. I sat down. I pulled out my phone. 23 missed calls. All from Mia. My heart stopped. I called her back. She answered immediately. Mom? Her voice was wrong. Small. Scared. Shaking. Baby, what is wrong? Where are you? I am at a place. I do not know where. Grandma and Grandpa brought me here and left. What do you mean they left? Where are you? I think it is a homeless shelter. There are a lot of people here. They are sleeping on the floor. Some of them are yelling. Mom, I am scared. I could not breathe. I could not think. A homeless shelter? Why would they take you to a homeless shelter? They said it was a lesson. They said I needed to see how other people live. They said I needed to learn gratitude. They said they would be back in a few hours. How long have you been there? Since 3:30. It was 6:30. 3 hours. My 12-year-old daughter had been sitting in a homeless shelter for 3 hours. Mia, where exactly are you? What is the address? I do not know. I do not see an address. There is a sign. It says Hope Mission. I knew that place. It was downtown. 45 minutes from the hospital. In a rough area. A place where people went when they had nowhere else to go. Okay. Listen to me. I am coming right now. Do not move. Stay inside. Do not go outside. Do not talk to anyone. Just sit there and wait for me. I will be there as fast as I can. Okay. I love you. I am coming. I love you too, Mom. I hung up. I ran to my supervisor. I told her I had a family emergency. I told her I had to leave. She started to protest. We were short-staffed. I could not just leave.
But I did not care.
I grabbed my bag.
I ran.
I got in my car. I called my mother. It went to voicemail. I called my father. Voicemail. I called my mother again. Voicemail. I called my father again. Voicemail. I drove. I broke every speed limit. I ran red lights.
I did not care.
I just drove. When I got to the shelter, I parked in a loading zone. I ran inside. The place smelled like sweat and urine and desperation.
There were people everywhere.
On benches. On the floor. Leaning against walls. Some were sleeping.
Some were talking to themselves. Some were staring at nothing.
I scanned the room. Then I saw her. Mia was sitting in a corner. Her backpack was clutched to her chest. Her knees were pulled up. She looked so small. So scared. A man was sitting a few feet away from her, muttering to himself. A woman was pacing nearby, yelling at someone who was not there.
I ran to her.
I pulled her up.
I wrapped my arms around her. I am here. I am here. You are okay.
She started crying. Not loud. Just quiet sobs into my shoulder. Her whole body was shaking.
Let us go. Come on.
I took her hand.
I led her out of that place.
We got in the car. She was still crying. I held her for a long time. I did not say anything. I just held her. When she finally stopped crying, she pulled back and looked at me.
Why did they do that?
I do not know, baby. They said it was for my own good. They said I needed to see how lucky I am. They said I was ungrateful and spoiled and I needed a reality check. They said I should sit there and think about how good my life is. I could not speak. I could not process what I was hearing. My parents had taken my 12-year-old daughter to a homeless shelter. Had left her there. Alone. Surrounded by strangers. In a dangerous area. For 3 hours.
As a lesson. Where did they go?
They said they were going to dinner. They said it was your birthday and they were going to celebrate.
They said they would pick me up after. They went to dinner. Yes.
They left you in a homeless shelter and went to dinner.
Yes.
I started the car. I drove home. I got Mia inside. I made her hot chocolate. I sat with her on the couch. She was still shaking. At 9:15, my mother called. I answered. Allison, where are you? We went back to pick up Mia and she was gone. The staff said someone picked her up.
Was that you?
I did not yell. I did not scream. I just said very calmly, yes.
That was me.
Well, you could have told us.
We were worried. You were worried.
Yes.
We did not know where she was.
You left her in a homeless shelter. We left her somewhere safe.
There were staff there. We told them to keep an eye on her. It was perfectly fine.
It was not fine.
It was cruel.
It was dangerous.
It was insane.
It was a lesson. She needed to see how other people live. She needed to understand how lucky she is. She is 12 years old.
Exactly.
12 years old and she has no idea how good she has it.
She complains about everything. She takes everything for granted.
She needed a wake-up call.
She does not complain.
She does not take anything for granted. She is a good kid who works hard and never asks for anything.
That is not what we see.
We see a child who has been coddled and protected and spoiled. We see a child who needs to learn about the real world. So you took her to a homeless shelter.
Yes.
And it was good for her. Did she tell you what she saw?
Did she tell you about the people there? People who have nothing. People who would give anything to have what she has. That is the lesson. That is what she needed.
I closed my eyes. I counted to 10. Then I said, where did you go for dinner?
What?
You said you went to dinner.
Where did you go?
We went to the Capitol Grill. We wanted to celebrate your birthday.
The Capitol Grill.
$200 per person. Lobster.
Champagne.
White tablecloths. Live music. You left my daughter in a homeless shelter so you could go to a $200 dinner. We were celebrating your birthday.
Without me. Without her.
You were celebrating my birthday by abandoning my daughter and eating lobster. Allison, you are twisting this. We were teaching her a valuable lesson. And yes, we also took the opportunity to have a nice meal. Those two things are not mutually exclusive.
You are right.
They are not mutually exclusive.
They are just both horrible. Excuse me. You heard me. What you did was horrible. It was cruel. It was unforgivable. We were trying to help her. You were trying to punish her. For what? For existing? For being my daughter?
For not being grateful enough for your scraps of attention.
That is not fair. Nothing about this is fair.
You left a 12-year-old child alone in a homeless shelter.
You scared her. You traumatized her. You put her in danger.
Also, you could prove some twisted point about gratitude.
She is fine. Nothing happened to her. She is not fine.
She is terrified.
She is confused.
She does not understand why the people who are supposed to love her would do something like this.
We do love her. That is why we did it. Tough love. Real love means teaching hard lessons. Real love means protecting your child.
Real love means keeping them safe. Real love does not involve abandoning them in dangerous places to prove a point.
You are overreacting.
I am not overreacting. I am reacting exactly as much as this deserves.
What does that mean?
It means you will never see Mia again. It means you will never watch her again. It means you are done. Allison, do not be ridiculous.
We made a mistake.
We misjudged.
We are sorry. But you cannot just cut us out. Watch me.
I hung up.
I blocked her number.
I blocked my father's number. Then I sat there on the couch next to my daughter and I made a decision. The next morning, I called a lawyer.
Her name was Patricia.
I had used her 3 years ago for a contract dispute.
She was tough. She was thorough. She did not mess around.
Patricia, I need to discuss a financial matter.
A loan I gave my parents. Okay. Tell me about it. I told her everything.
The $38,000 I had given them.
The promise to pay me back.
The fact that they had never paid back 1 cent.
The fact that they were still living in the house I had saved.
Patricia was quiet for a moment. Then she said, "Do you have documentation of this?"
Yes.
Bank records.
Emails.
Text messages.
Everything.
And did they ever sign a promissory note?
No. It was a verbal agreement. That makes it harder. But not impossible. Especially with the documentation. What do you want to do? I want my money back. All of it. All of it. And if they cannot pay? Then I want to take it from them however I can. What does that mean?
It means if they will not pay me back, I want to put a lien on their house.
I want to force a sale.
I want them to understand that actions have consequences. Patricia was quiet again. Then she said, "That is aggressive. That is going to destroy your relationship with them."
They destroyed it first. Okay. I will draft a demand letter.
We will give them 30 days to pay you back in full. If they do not, we will file a lien and move to force a sale of the property.
How long will that take? A few months. Maybe longer.
But if you have documentation and they refuse to pay, you will win.
Do it.
She did. 1 week later, my parents received a letter. It was delivered by certified mail. They had to sign for it. The letter outlined the $38,000 I had given them. It included copies of bank records, emails, and text messages. It demanded full repayment within 30 days. It stated that if they did not pay, I would file a lien on their house and move to force a sale. My mother called me 15 minutes after she received the letter.
I did not answer.
She left a voicemail. "Allison, what is this?
What are you doing? You cannot be serious. This is insane. This is our house.
We have lived here for 42 years.
You cannot just take it from us. This is not how family treats each other.
Please call me back. We need to talk about this.
This has gone too far."
I did not call back.
My father called next. I did not answer.
He left a voicemail too. "You are making the biggest mistake of your life.
You think you can threaten us? You think you can bully us into giving you money? We are your parents. We raised you. We gave you everything. And this is how you repay us? By threatening to take our home? You are ungrateful. You are cruel. And you are going to regret this. I did not call back. 2 days later, my mother showed up at my apartment. She rang the doorbell. I did not answer. She knocked. She called my name. She said she just wanted to talk. I stayed inside. After 20 minutes, she left. 1 week later, my father sent me an email. It was 4 paragraphs long. It said they did not have $38,000. It said they were living on a fixed income. It said they could not afford to pay me back. It said I was being unreasonable. It said I was destroying the family. It said they would never forgive me. I did not respond. 30 days came and went. They did not pay. Not $1. Patricia filed a lien on their house. It took 2 weeks to process. Once it was filed, it became public record. Anyone who looked up their property would see that I had a claim against it. They could not sell it. They could not refinance it. They were stuck. Then Patricia filed a motion to force a sale. That took longer. There were hearings. My parents hired a lawyer. Their lawyer argued that the loan was a gift, not a loan. That I had no right to demand repayment. That I was being vindictive. Patricia presented the documentation. The emails where they promised to pay me back. The text messages where they called it a loan. The bank records showing the transfer. The judge reviewed everything. Then he ruled in my favor. The house would be sold. The proceeds would go to paying me back. Whatever was left over would go to my parents. The sale was scheduled for 90 days later. My parents called. They emailed. They texted from numbers I did not recognize. They begged. They pleaded. They offered to pay me back in installments. They offered to give me half now and half later. They offered to sign over the house to me if I let them keep living there. I said no to everything. The house sold at auction. It went for $312,000. After paying off their remaining mortgage and fees, there was $206,000 left. I got my $38,000 back. Plus interest. Plus legal fees. $52,000 total. My parents got the rest. $154,000. They used it to buy a small condo. 2 bedrooms. 1 bathroom. 900 square feet. 40 minutes away. It was all they could afford. That was 4 months ago. I have not spoken to my parents since the demand letter was sent. I have not seen them. I have not responded to any of their attempts to contact me. Mia has not spoken to them either. She does not ask about them. She does not miss them. When I asked her how she felt about everything, she said, "I feel safe now." Mia is 12 years old. She is in 7th grade. She is on the honor roll. She is in the school orchestra. She plays violin. She is making friends. She is smiling more. She does not apologize for existing anymore. Last week, we were making dinner together. She was chopping vegetables. I was cooking pasta. She said, "Mom, can I ask you something?" "Of course." "Do you think what you did was mean?" "What do you mean?" "Taking their house. Making them move. Do you think that was too much?" I turned off the stove. I looked at her. "Do you think it was too much?" She thought about it. Really thought about it. Then she said, "No. I think they needed to learn a lesson. Just like they said I did." I smiled. "Yeah, I think so too. Do you think they learned it?" "I do not know. But I learned something." "What?" "That protecting you is more important than keeping the peace. That choosing you is more important than making them happy. That you are worth more than any relationship I could lose." She smiled. "I already knew that." "Good." We finished making dinner. We ate together. We talked about her day. We laughed. It was normal. It was easy. It was ours. I think about that day sometimes. I think about the phone calls. The fear in Mia's voice. Driving to that shelter. Seeing her sitting there, small and scared, surrounded by strangers. I think about my mother saying it was a lesson.
I think about them eating lobster while my daughter sat on a cold floor in a place where people go when they have nowhere else to turn.
And I think about the choice I made. To fight back. To demand what was owed to me. To take what was mine.
To show them that there are consequences for cruelty.
Some people said I went too far.
Some people said I was vindictive. Some people said they were my parents and I should have shown more mercy. Some people said $52,000 was not worth destroying a family over.
But it was never about the money. It was about my daughter. It was about protecting her.
It was about showing her that she does not deserve to be used as a lesson. That she does not deserve to be scared for someone else's twisted idea of teaching.
That she matters more than their comfort.
My parents thought they were teaching Mia about gratitude. They thought they were showing her how lucky she was. They thought they were giving her perspective.
Instead, they taught me something.
They taught me that people who claim to love you can still hurt you in unforgivable ways. They taught me that family does not mean unconditional tolerance. They taught me that protecting your child sometimes means burning every bridge to the people who hurt them.
I do not regret what I did. I do not regret the demand letter. I do not regret the lien.
I do not regret forcing the sale of their house. I do not regret taking my money back. Because when I look at Mia now, when I see her feeling safe, when I hear her say she is not scared anymore, I know I made the right choice.
She is my daughter. She is my family. She is my whole world.
And anyone who cannot protect her the way she deserves does not get to be part of our lives.
So what do you think? Did I go too far, or just far enough? Let me know in the comments below.
And if you want more stories about mothers who chose their children over toxic families, do not forget to subscribe and hit that bell icon. I've got 2 more stories queued up for you, both about the moment we realized protecting our kids means walking away from the people who were supposed to love them. Click on whichever one calls to you. Until next time, remember, family is about who shows up, not who shows up in your DNA.